Hello and welcome to Gendering Geopolitics, my short series where I have quick 10-minute conversations with women who are breaking barriers around the world. My name is Emily Prey and I'm a senior analyst at the New Lines Institute in Washington, D.C. Today, I'm speaking with Shiler Sido, a Kurdish activist. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, dear Emily.
So, the new UN Syria Commission report was released on Tuesday and documented claims of horrific sexual and gender-based violence by Turkish-backed militias, including the Syrian National Army Forces. What is the situation on the ground now, especially since you're based on the ground in Syria?
Yeah, in fact, the report just mentioned a very small amount of what really goes on the ground. It's a small picture of the grave encroachments and violations that are done daily in Afrin, starting from raping to torturing to kidnapping to looting to oppressing religious minorities like Yazidis and Alawites, to forcing children to attend Sharia school where they teach radicalism, Islam, and they also force women to cover themselves. Yes, the report was issued, but it is very much there is so much to mention on the ground, the grave encroachments that are done there. You can't imagine the situation. People there live in a very rough situation. For example, they are kicked out of their house, their fields. They cannot enter their own houses. Their language is banned. Their culture is demolished. Their sacred places and historical sites are being destroyed. So you can say there is a deliberate and systematic plan to change the region demographically. Just imagine a region that was 90% of Kurdish majority. Now it's less than 20%. That is why we say that the report mentioned so many things, but there is still more and more to see on the ground, and people are really in a very difficult situation.
It's absolutely horrific. And the report also states that Turkey remains bound by its human rights obligations vis-a-vis all individuals present in such territories. So while it's very unlikely that Turkey will actually act to curtail these militias and these abuses, is there anything that the US can do to put pressure on its NATO ally?
Of course, the US is a major player and it has a major role to do. Especially the State Department report that was issued by the International Commission of Freedom of Religion. It stated clearly what is the situation like on the ground, and the remaining people under the Turkish occupation are at the risk. And the report also stated clearly the dangerous situation of Kurdish people everywhere, especially the religious minorities, and that was issued by the State Department itself. And I also think that President Joe Biden can make a lot of pressure on Turkey because he said his administration, the core values of his administration is coexistence, peace, and democracy. Now, back in Afrin, it was really like this. Afrin was a cradle of peace, coexistence, and democracy. But now, after occupation, it turned to hell. So I think President Joe Biden can do a lot, can make a pressure, and also the US should remember, and the whole world, that Afrin young men and women, the majority of leaders, key leaders in SDF are from Afrin. They fought against ISIS in Manbij, in Raqqa, in Deir ez-Zor, in places where ISIS were controlling. So they have major rules defeating ISIS. Now, as I said, the US can do a lot and should remember to protect its ally wherever they were. The key leaders in SDF and SDC are from Afrin region. That is why I do believe that the US can do more. the US can bring peace, coexistence, and democracy again to the region.
It really is time for the Biden administration and for President Biden to put their money where their mouth is when they talk about fighting autocratic regimes and promoting democracy around the world, especially with our allies, those important allies in Northeast Syria who helped to defeat ISIS.
Right.
So looking at these militias, these Turkish-backed militias, what is the end goal? Is it just chaos? Is it to destroy the autonomous administration of North and East Syria and everything that they stand for? What's the end goal here?
Yeah, as you said, the end goal of these militias backed by Turkey is exactly what you said, is to bring chaos to the whole region, not only to one region. I want to clarify something here that these militias represent the radicalism ideology of ISIS. Maybe they have different names, maybe they have different shapes, but the ideology is the same, while the Kurdish people represent the moderate model of democracy, of peace, of coexistence and love. So here we have a war between two different ideologies. That is why they hate Kurds. That is why they say Kurds are infidels. They see them as their own enemies now in the region. They left to, go against Assad regime. Now they gather themselves in a new ships and in a new plans in order to demolish the Kurds and erase them from the region. Why is that? Because the Kurdish model that represent the democracy, the coexistence with other minorities. When Kurds have had the power in Afrin, they shared the power with everyone there. Now in Northeast Syria is the same story. And there is also a very important fact. In Kurdish culture and mentality, women are regarded highly. Now the key leaders in SDF, in SDC are women, and that drive these militias with radicals, crazy. Kurds are against the ideology of jihadist people like Al-Nusra, ISIS, and Al-Qaeda. And that is why they want to erase Kurds. They have always a plan to make chaos in the region in order to destabilize the Kurdish situation. This is the truth.
There's really nothing scarier to a misogynist than a powerful woman, and that's certainly true in this situation. So as a Kurdish activist who especially works on women's issues and women's rights, what do you want the world to know about Northeast Syria?
Yeah, I just want the world to know that we fought the whole world on behalf of the whole world. We defeated the most dangerous terrorism on the earth. 50,000 young men and women, Kurdish young men and women, defeated ISIS, defeated the darkness that was trying to spread itself. Thanks to the Kurdish young men and women, now Daesh is defeated. Daesh cannot attack Washington, cannot attack Madrid, London, Paris, or any other capital in the West. We fought for humanity. We fought against the dark side, which was trying to spread its wing all over the world. The world should be grateful to 50,000 sacrificed young men and women. These young men and women had dreams, had education to go, had ambitions to fulfill, but they decided to fight on behalf of the whole world. We fought for you. So please, just be grateful. Just recognize these sacrifices. And I want to know that the whole world should know Northeast Syria represent a very humanitarian project, a very loved project that deals consider highly women, that consider highly the coexistence, peace, and democracy that the U.S. and all freedom countries that or countries that who believe in freedom, they just want their normal rights. They want to name their children with Kurdish names. They want their mother tongue. They want just have a normal life. They want to breathe freedom.
The world absolutely owes a huge debt to the Kurds, to the Yazidis, to the Assyrians, and all others who fought against ISIS. Shiler, I want to thank you so much for your time and for coming on Gendering Geopolitics today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, dear Emily.